and welcome to this edition of Easy Eats for Everyone. Today we're going to be quickly walking through an easy manicotti recipe as well as how to make some delicious homemade cannolis. Please remember before you get started, make sure your hair's pulled up, and if you cannot social distance, wear a mask, and of course wash those hands for at least 20 seconds. We'll see you in a moment. So we need a few different things for our manicotti and cannolis. The good news is a lot of these things are kind of the same. Manicotti and cannolis are both made with ricotta or ricotta cheese, depending on who you're talking to. Same cheese, different ways of saying it. You're going to start off with the ricotta for your manicotti. You're going to have onion, garlic, a little bit of Italian seasoning, some Parmesan, and some salt and pepper. You will also use a little bit of red sauce. It can be any red sauce, and some mozzarella. For your cannolis, you're going to use ricotta, some powdered sugar. You're also going to use amaretto and chocolate chips. Not similar, you say, but they're both going to be stuffed into something that's round. Manicotti will be using these shells, and cannoli will be using these shells. So as you see, it is kind of simple. So for our first dish, we're going to do the manicotti. Very easy to do. We're going to have the ricotta in here, and we're literally just going to dump in our ingredients. This is about a teaspoon each of garlic and onion powder, a tablespoon of Parmesan, just a pinch or about a quarter teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and a pinch of salt and pepper. We don't want to use too much salt because that Parmesan cheese is going to add a salty taste to it too. And all we're doing is lightly mixing it. Now, as you can see, the ricotta cheese isn't getting too thin. It's mixing together. All of our ingredients are there, but you still have that ricotta texture in here. And then very simply, we're going to fill our manicotti. You can buy hard shells in the grocery store. Do that by kind of scooping it in there with a spoon, putting it in your red sauce and cooking it. That will take about 45 minutes to an hour. We are actually using a fresh pasta sheet. You might see it as a fresh lasagna sheet. Cut that in half, and you'll cut your cooking time in half as well. Do about a tablespoon. You're going to fold over, kind of press it through, and just roll. And you're going to place that right in the sauce. And you just keep on doing that until you have the desired amount of manicotti. More here. If you have extra ricotta cheese, spread it right over the top of the fresh pasta, and you'll just add a little bit more cheesy deliciousness. You're going to top this with a little bit of red sauce. Spread it right over. A sprinkle of cheese, not too much. Remember, the ricotta is the star of the show here, not the mozzarella. And you're going to place this in your preheated oven at 350 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. We'll see you in a moment. So our manicotti is cooking in the oven. Well, now we're going to need something sweet because I told you we're going to do something savory and something delicious and sweet. The beautiful thing with cannolis is it's not overly sweet. It has just a little bit of a hint of something sweet and almost of a cool, creamy taste to it, so it's not going to overpower anything else. This recipe can also be used with a nice yellow cake to make something called passata cake. We are going to only use about a cup max of ricotta cheese, and we're going to sweeten it with amaretto. We're going to pour in about a tablespoon and a half. We're going to add some delicious chocolate chips, as well as some powdered sugar. So we're going to do about a tablespoon of powdered sugar. You can add more. Then we're going to mix. Some cannolis also put in cherries, but the cherries can get stuck when you're trying to pipe them in. So we're going to skip the cherries this time. If your ricotta is too thin, add a little more ricotta cheese, or you can even add a little more powdered sugar, just not so much that it's too thick to pipe. You want it to have a creamy consistency, and you're going to notice that even though it's the same cheese as the manicotti, This one here almost has a little bit more of a frosting texture. If you have one of our cannoli kits, you might get this mixture already in one of these pastry bags. But if you're doing our from scratch kit, you'll get the pastry bag on the side. If you are just watching this at home and you didn't get one of our kits, all you need is a pastry bag or even a ziplock bag. The key is to fold it over. Some people will tell you to put it in a cup, but you can easily put your fingers inside, and this will keep it so the filling goes into the bottom and doesn't sit on top. And we're gonna scoop this in here. This makes it easier to fill the cannoli. If you do not feel comfortable using a pastry bag, you could also just spoon this right in, but this lets you get all the way inside the cannoli shell so that every bite is tasty and delicious. Make sure we get all of this. This is safe to lick the spoon, by the way. We're gonna just take that bag, give it a little shake. And as you can see, that moves the filling right to the end of the bag. If this was a Ziploc bag, your bag would be like this. You would hold it at an angle and just kind of cut it. We're gonna snip this down here. Using kitchen safe scissors, or at least clean scissors, cut off the end, and you want to cut off the end large enough for the chocolate chips to go through. You're going to take the bag and place it halfway inside the cannoli shell and just gently squeeze. We're going to do this on both sides. This is a decadent sweet treat to do. It's great if you have that leftover ricotta cheese from your manicotti or stuffed shells. And you can even take some chocolate chips and dip the ends right in there. And a beautiful sweet treat dessert to go with your manicotti. Those will be ready in just a moment. So hopefully you're saving those cannolis for dessert. Just remember to please put them in the refrigerator because it is made with cheese and we don't want anything to go through that temperature danger zone and get bad. Using our oven mitts, we're going to pull our delicious manicotti from the oven. Before I move anything out of the oven, I'm going to turn the oven off. Oh, you can smell this already. Again, we're going to make sure that I'm putting something safe down. I don't want to put this directly on any surface that could melt or burn. And voila, easy, delicious, homemade manicotti. The nice thing about using those pre-made pasta shells is that it really cooks quickly, but also has a delicious homemade taste. You just want to kind of wiggle them around here to make sure they're not sticking. Oh, look at that cheesy deliciousness. You can make a whole tray of these. A serving is about 2, 3 if you made them on the smaller side. To reheat these, please just make sure that you put them either on a microwave safe plate or container, or just throw them back in the oven with a little bit extra sauce. Don't forget, Easy Eats should be fun and easy for everyone. We'll see you on our next episode.